Good morning, everyone. Good morning, viewers. So we're back again for a new video. So today we'll be talking about support and resistance, how we're able to trade support and resistance effectively. So I would like to make sure that you understand where to get in and how to get out of support and resistance, most especially trading as a price action strategy. And what is price action? Price actions are those areas where you understand your candlestick formation, you understand your structures, you understand your support and resistance, you understand your trend, uptrend and downtrend. How you are able to use your chart analysis to get the direction of the market. So before we do that, we're going to start with top-down analysis so that we can be able to use top-down analysis to get our support and resistance. We will be using one of these charts to do analysis. For instance, if you go back to one day, we found out that this USD JPP has been on a upper trend for some time now. Now, being upper trend is that you look at this. This is a trend moving from down back up. Right? So at this point, if you check this zone very well, this market was actually on a resistance level. What we should have expected here is that this market will drop down again back to break this trend line and continue to trend down. But unfortunately, it broke the trend line and retested. Well, immediately it broke the trend line and retested, we have confirmed that this market is going to continue bullish. So after breaking the trend line of this resistance, automatically this resistance turned to support, then the market continue to get bullish. Now, when it get to this level again, we found out there was a series of different, go to 1 hour to get it clearer. On this level, we have series of touch and retrace. We're just trending in between this zone as a ranging market. Now, what do we need to do? We have to bring in our trend, horizontal trend, and mark this up. So whenever market gets here, it retraces back, gets here, it retraces back. So if you are into a trade, the best way to trade this is whenever the market gets to this resistance, it returns back. That is how we observe our resistance. So the market has always come to this zone, come back, get to this zone, come back. And this trend is also a support to this resistance that is actually coming from the downtrend to uptrend. So when market gets to this level, it retraces back to the support, to the resistance again. Now, as we have this market here, look at it. It got to this trend, it touches it, it gets back. So if we are to trade this, this is how we will put the market. You will have to pull this, then take your profit at this zone. So we look for maybe 20, 30 pip, depending on your risk management. So let's say we are taking 20 pip, then our stop loss should be like 60, which is 1 for 3. If possible, you can do 1 for 2. If you are risking 20, you take 40 as your take profit. So we can do this over and over and over. You find out that if you are taking this market will have given you up to 2 to 1 for reward. That means you are risking 1 to get 2. If possible, you are using your percentage. You are risking 1% to get 2%. But in some cases, to those who trade 1 for 3, you can make this to 6, depending on what you are seeing in the market. For me, if I were in your position, I will use 1 for 2 to let's say 1 for 50 pip. I'll use 50 pip. So that means I will trade 1% to get 2.5%. So automatically, because what I'm seeing here, the market may likely retrace at this zone and continue to come back again. So for me, I don't want to risk 1 for 3, because for every tendency for this market to come back to this resistance might not be possible. It might just be ranging close to the resistance and fall back again. So you find out that your stop loss, your take profit might not hit easily, or might not hit at all. So the best way is to make sure that you have your market in place, you have your strategy in place, you have everything that it takes for you to have a good market in place. Now, before I move further, let's go back on how we can actually, now you have seen how resistance work. Now let's check the support. Let's go back to daily. We can get a support somewhere here. Now remember, I told you that this market has always been changing. It has changed direction. By the time it broke this level, let me use another marking. So as at the time the market broke this level, so we are taking that area where market broke the trend as our support. Now you go back again. So this is now our support. Even when you don't have this, if you don't have this trend line, no problem. But the trend line will always guide you to make sure that you know what you are doing. Now, how do we trade this resistance? As at the time this market was somewhere here, let's say we want to trade this resistance, you will put yourself to this, then you put your stop loss little higher above. Let's go to 1 hour. I prefer 1 hour to do that. So when the market was here, what you need to do, if I were you, I'll just put it a little bit below, then put your stop loss 20 pip. You know, we said we have to use 20 to get 40. Let's say we are putting 40 somewhere here. That is 1 for 2. So at this time, because we are trading from resistance to support, this is the next resistance. This is first touch. Second touch here, you know, I told you that you always want to, you are going to be looking for a support. That support will be higher high and a higher low and lower low. That means there may be every tendency that this market may not get to this zone immediately. So you put your sell before the last high, little before the last high, then allow your stop loss to be above the last high. So that's why we have 20 pip to get 40. Then you move it down. Now, where is your take profit? Your take profit should also be marked on your resistance here. This is not going to be your sales resistance, right? Anywhere here should be your sales resistance. This is our sales resistance, because this is where market has gotten to previous time. So we expect market to come back here before performing anything. Now, because we are going for 1 for 2, we decided to put it here, not even below. But we know that definitely our expectation should be from this market going down, should get to this level, then retrace back again if possible. So that is how this system works. So at the long run of this trading analysis, you will understand where to go in and where to go out of every market. That is the best way to trade very good forex, whether synthetic, you are trading futures, you are trading forex as the currencies, they are all the same. All you need to understand is to get accurate entry time and exit time. Once you understand support and resistance perfectly, you will be in a massive profit. No strategy that is too cumbersome or too much. You will be the one to make it a bit difficult for you when you make it too analysis, too believing that things are. So alternatively, I also have another way I trade this market in a way that it can give me accurate support and resistance. Now let me open up my EMA. Now, when you have your EMA, I've talked this over on my previous videos. when you have your EMA, how do you do this? You will have to open up your EMA 120 and the other 150. You change the color, come back here. You can change the color on your setting. This is the setting, right? Click on the setting. Now you can change the color from your style. I'm using red for input of 20. Now, if you come to the 50, I'm using 50 as the length, then my color is blue. Now that means that whenever 20 that is small goes above the other one is on the higher, it's going to give me and up a downtrend where I will be expecting a sell. So now look at this. The red has crossed this, it gives me a sell. So what do we normally do is that whenever you have this red and the green, you look at this, this is the support. The support shows that whenever the market gets to this green or the blue and the red, it keeps going up. So it will not break it. So your trend line must always be above both of them, both the yellow and the red. Your chart must always be above each of these market requirement. That is where you can actually know how to trade this effectively. So all I'm saying is that you must always have where your crossover happens, then you enter for a buy. If the red crossover the blue to up, you go for a buy. If the red crossover blue up down, this is the resistance. So when you are in resistance, you expect the red to cross below the blue, you sell. When you are on the support, you expect the red here, look at it, the red here to cross the blue, then you buy. So that is alternative way you can also trade support and resistance effectively. And remember that most of these things can also work for someone who manages risk management effectively. And another thing is your stop loss. How is it looking like? What level, what are you taking for your stop loss and your take profit? Your stop loss must not be more than what you can afford to lose. If you are having $100, you can't reach more than 5%. If you want to reach 10%, that is fine, but you must be sure that whenever you lose, you have $10 to lose. But whenever you gain, you are getting like $20 to $30 at the same time. But the best way is to make sure that you know the entry time, you know the exit time, because when you don't know when to enter and when to exit, it gives you a very, very difficult opportunity to excel and be profitable in Forex. So meanwhile, this is how support and resistance works. In the next video, we're going to be talking about price action, structured levels, and how we can use any of these tools to effectively navigate our chart and have a very good profit. And at the same time, you need to also understand candlestick formation. Sometimes you have your morning star where you have somewhere here. Let's look at this. Let's go to lower time frame. You see this? So when you have this, look at what happened to your candlestick, your candlestick here at this zone. So you have something like a morning star here, sorry, evening star. When you have an evening star here, it shows that the next candle is going to be a drop. So when that happens on a resistance over and over somewhere like this, look at this, it happens there, it happens there. So it shows that there's going to be a drop. So candlestick formation will also help you. Bullish engulfing will also help you. Support and resistance on your moving average will also help you. These are tools, confirmation you must put in place to be able to take trade effectively, so that at the end you can be able to determine when to enter, when to exit. Once you can be able to get that, it automatically gives you an edge over your losses. And another alternative way is that I also use what we call this W pattern, right? Then for my, I use this for my entry for a buy. Then I also use my M pattern. this for my sell formation. So if you look at this, it automatically shows that this is an M pattern. Look at it. So this is an M pattern. So once an M pattern forms, you can easily get then the M pattern shows that there is a support. Sometimes it might not actually touch equally. Sometimes it can be equal. All depends on how the chart is formed. So sometimes you find out that your W pattern also form in that direction, that it might not really give you that exact W, but you will know that this is it. Boom. So that is how it works. So you need to have all this as part of your tools and confirmation strategies that you must learn how to put in place, so that at any given time, at any point, you can trade effectively without any psychological effect, emotional effect, and your risk management must not be more than within 1 to 2%, 3 to 4%, depending on what you are trading. If you are trading a small account, fine, you can just come up, determine what you want to lose and what you want to gain. Gradual process makes a good forex trader. And if you are trading a prop firm, I'm going to do analysis on the prop firm very shortly, maybe within now and few days time, where you can also determine on type of prop firm you can trade, the risk, and how you can trade effectively using prop firm. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to our channel, do click likes and subscribe to our channel, so that whenever we drop this analysis, next time you will not lose anything we share. And I so much believe that if you follow us, you will learn a lot as we continue to build gradual process forex traders who will become a millionaire tomorrow.